Here in the wake of dawn, I see you shine. When I feel that heartbeat, I fly so much higher, fly so much higher, fly so much higher, fly so much higher. Sky lines and clouds are below us now. Sky dive
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I am your host, the Ice Dragon, RayronVR. Hopefully, you guys are doing well. We are playing around with time slots, and I think we will talk about that here in a second. So, let's see who we have in our lovely chat room right now. We've got Jeff, welcome. How you doing? And we got Real Fan K. And yes, we will definitely be talking about all the news. We've got the new FEF run from Broadway Limited. We've got to talk about the NSUP update that just happened. We've got a golden big boy out of freaking nowhere to talk about. And so there's so many things to talk about and discuss. We are on the eve of Amherst, which is basically the Super Bowl model railroading going to be happening this upcoming week. So we'll have a pre-talk into all the announcements that's going to slowly start trickling down when it comes to the model railroading community and Amherst this upcoming weekend. So lots of things to talk about. Let me know if you guys can't hear me, if I'm peaking at all, if everything is good to go on the volume side. But yeah, lots and lots of things to talk about. All right. And then also welcome to all of our lurkers and all those who will be watching this stream after the live broadcast. Yes, we will be talking about the NSUP development. It's nothing new. And matter of fact, we'll probably go right into it here pretty soon. So with that, let's go ahead and talk about some updates on the channel. Let's go ahead. Yeah, a lot of stuff coming from Amherst. Absolutely. Go Army sheep in the mud. Yep. Yep. And also one thing to know, guys, I know YouTube has changed the way channel names appear in the chat room. So please remind me of what your display name is too. I can recognize some, but for others, just remind me what you guys are. Otherwise, I'll just go by your @ names versus display names. I don't know why YouTube keeps going back and forth with the display name and so forth. I don't know. It's a weird thing. So yeah. Let's see. Didn't hear about that. Yeah, we'll definitely be talking about that. Definitely be talking about that. Okay, so on the layout today, who is naming the Golden Big Boy? We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. Okay, today we've got the KM German Southern Pacific diesel that's going to be taking around our American Orient Express locomotives. We've got the scenic background by my wonderful fiance Brianna, and she set all that up for me. And so we're going to go ahead and get this diesel on the move here. So we're bringing everything is slowly coming back to normal like we've had it. I am super excited. See, it's YouTube. They always go around the website. Yeah, I don't know why they do that. One of these days I'll charge up the base to that so that way it'll go 360. I also gotta find a remote too. Kind of got lost in the nether. But another announcement for the channel. We have our cameras are set up again, located in different spots this time, but we are fully kind of operational. I'm still needing to set up from all your OG guys out there. Going to set up the camera car system. I still need to get the drone set up again and probably be upgrading that. I know that's something I've been wanting to do on this channel. I know it's not going to be 100% crystal clear like I want it, but we are operational again. We've got our cameras going around the layout. You can see some of the cameras right here. So trying a few new concepts when it comes to the modular layout. Going to talk bad about YouTube, but they can't make up their minds. Yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. Nice looking train. Thank you so much. Go Army. Again, when it comes to this channel, I do a lot of fantasy setups. So again, if you guys are new to the channel, I am developing what's called the Frostline and Pacific Railway. It is a fantasy freelance, basically empire. I have 6 episodes that are dedicated to the core lore of the FPR, and then we're creating short stories pretty much once a month going into kind of the lore of this universe, this Frostline universe. And so this layout, which is basically set up as a freelance railroad, it is a Freemo Minimo modulars, meaning that it is 12 inches wide versus 24 inches wide. And this is the town of Icyville. Icyville came from the rename of Snowville from Utah. Snowville, Utah up north. So that's a little bit of a teaser to my next short story that we'll be making to talk more about this entire layout when it comes to the cities. So yeah, definitely happy to get this camera system all set up. That's why it took me a little bit to stream again. And we are pretty much back up and going. So with that, we'll have this train going around the layout, but we've got a lot to news to dive into. And you guys have kind of alluded to some of that news. So with that, let's go ahead and bring up our first news of the day, one that I've been kind of following, and it was definitely one of the biggest groundbreaking news to happen last year. And yes. Let me do one thing behind the scenes here. There's Spooky Booty Bree. Let me fix my notifications here. Open volume mixer and do that. Okay, so yes, Jeff, that is correct. So they are supposed to be unveiling 2 new locomotives at Amherst. Yep. Okay, so let's go to the news. Let's take a field trip. Okay, so the first trip that we're going to be talking about today is the regulators of the Surface Transportation Board, the STB, has rejected the UP-NS merger application. And there's a lot to this, so let's go ahead and just dive right into it. So, Washington, the Surface Transportation Board today issued a setback to Union Pacific's effort to acquire Norfolk Southern, rejecting the railroad's merger application as incomplete, although the move offers little clue to the eventual prospects for the first transcontinental merger. The decision will slow the merger process, according to railroads. Again, a little bit of a fluff here. So they said the 15-page decision that it rejected the application based on the problems with market share data. The failure to include the merger agreement between the two railroads of how the application addresses control of the Terminal Railroad Association of St. Louis. Okay, so we're not going to go into the full details of this, but I've been seeing a lot of people talk about this, saying that, oh, it's rejected, the Surface Transportation Board won't allow us to go through. And to that, I want to say timeout. This is just a rejection of the initial application. So the best way to kind of phrase it is that, if you go to apply for like a home loan or apply for divorce or apply for whatever official document you're going for, and if you make one mistake on the form, or let's say you gave like a passport and something, and you make one simple mistake, naturally that agency is going to reject the form. And that's basically all that's happening here, is that this is the first attempt for these railroads to submit this application. Now, keep in mind, this application is something big that we've never seen before outside of CPKC. And so there's a lot more to this merger than we saw in CPKC. So the fact that this was one of the few issues that they found, naturally the lawyers from UP and NS will relook at that paperwork and they're going to resubmit. And so they're already going to look into that. So it's not over for now. There's still a lot of loopholes to kind of get through. But this rejection just means that they have to refile. And so you can see down here in the article, UP and NS have until February 17th to inform the board if they will file an updated application. So again, it's not an outright denial of the merge. It's just, hey, this paperwork's incomplete. We need to see what you're going to do. And this particular area is in St. Louis. So that's something that we just got to keep in mind, that they're still going to refile for their merger application. Don't be surprised if we see this multiple times, because there's going to be a whole bunch of other things that they have to consider when it comes to the regions. In this case, it was the TRRA, which is jointly owned by Union Pacific, Norfolk Southern, BNSF, CN, and CSX. So there's a lot of players into this. So this is something to keep in mind. So let's see here. Hey, NEC Amtrak, how are you, good sir? Hopefully you are doing well. Wonderful to see you back in. So yeah, this is not over by any stretch of the imagination. Again, there was a lot of gotcha like clips saying, rejection or denied all over YouTube and the shorts and everything. It's like, guys, relax. They're still going to reapply. It says it in the article that they have until next month to address these issues and to continue on with their application. So I didn't make a video on this because this was just a quick snapshot in what's going on. We're going to see this several more times into doing this. So yeah, there'll be a little bit of there's going to be a lot more application process. There's going to be things to think about. Let's see. So yeah, we're in a multi-year process when it comes to this merge. Definitely nothing new when it comes to this. That's my 2 cents, is that, it's just a fork in the road, per se. It's just dealing with paperwork, and so naturally this is just going to be part of the process. I still think they're going to approve once they iron out all of these issues when it comes to their application. But, again, we'll see. We shall see. Yep. It ain't over. It's just going to take some time. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So that is basically the update that we got a few days ago. See, when this come out? This came out January 16th, so 3 days ago we got this update. So they will be refiling. All right, let's talk about, since you guys kind of mentioned it, let's go ahead. Okay, let's talk about BLI. So BLI has announced a few announcements coming from their line. So we've got the brand new FEF in HO scale. And looks like what's interesting about this is that we're going to be getting it in both the 844 and the 8444 number boards from what I saw from this announcement release, which I think is pretty cool. It's kind of unique. Kind of excited to head down this path. Let's see. BNSF, CSX, and CN might have something to say too. Oh, they already have. BNSF is trying to most of them are trying to stop it. BNSF right now is the most vocal about the merger because they're trying to look at even historical data about the merger from UP and Southern Pacific recently. But yeah, it's they're gonna have a say in it for sure. Absolutely. Yep. So that 49er scheme is really tempting. It's just I like it, but when I see that 49er scheme, I think of the streamlined steamer that's actually associated with that paint scheme. I wish BLI would come out with one of those, but it does look pretty good. I'm probably, though, going to skip the 49 version just because it doesn't fit in any of my consists. It doesn't fit in my freight cars. It doesn't fit with any of my coaches. It's just kind of an oddball scheme that I wish personally, I wish we could have seen the Freedom Train maybe version of an 844. I think that would have been kind of cool. But for the Niner scheme, and they're gonna come out with another scheme too. It's what the 199 so forth. You prefer the Greyhound 844? Yep. So, and the thing about this run is that I'm gonna skip this run because I already have my 844 in Blue Nami, and this is Paragon 4, and so I prefer the Blue Nami that I've got over these ones, and I do have a Greyhound 838 that I'll eventually convert to Blue Nami as well, and so this run I will probably be skipping out. Let's see. So that was that from Broadway Limited. They've announced a few coaches, which again we'll go through those in a bit. Let me see. We're gonna jump over to Scale Trains because they've had some interesting news as well, and Jeff can definitely contest to this. All right, let's highlight this. Okay, so Scale Trains announced their second run of their J-Class steam engines. And so this has generated some controversy, and I think rightfully so. So the big statement that they had here to draw your attention to is this second paragraph. So this new run features new Norfolk and Western road numbers, multiple number 611 excursion era versions, and an all new drawbar connection for improved performance. And so that's what the big controversy about this is, that they really haven't made a statement into what the first run of the steamer locomotives are. And so when we go to the comments section, our wonderful Jeff here asked the question. I want to see if I can find it, Jeff. Right here. So, will you guys be using a metal screw to hold the crank, main rod, and slide into the model versus the plastic one that they have? This is the only response that we got from Scale Trains, was that the screw itself was metal in the first run. However, the receiver was plastic. And that is a major foul because that plastic with that screw, the threads of the plastic wore off, which if you guys saw in my short video of Jeff's model, it actually completely stripped free. And that was my biggest concern about this model, especially when the first run was announced, was that Scale Trains got the MTHHO tooling, but they had to completely redesign the drawbars. Let's see, lost my train of thought there. Yeah, the drawbar was stripping off, and that led to the screw being released from the wheel, and that could potentially jam up the drive shaft and causing all sorts of issues. And so this first run, I was concerned about it, which is why I didn't get one, because I wanted to see how they would handle that. And as we saw, there was a lot of issues. And if you read through the comments, there's a lot of people talking about wanting to get a replacement. So I'm going to go with newest comment here. I don't think it's going to refresh. Yeah, a lot of people are starting to see that there's a lot of question about that drawbar. The biggest comment that I've been seeing in here is that since they've identified a new drawbar system for the second run, are they going to have some sort of kit to be released so that way the first run, all those steam engines can get fixed? And what's interesting is that Scale Trains hasn't formally made an announcement about it. And which is weird because Scale Trains is known for good customer service. When they know they've messed up, they will send out those replacement parts. And so I'm hoping that Scale Trains will make an announcement saying that, hey, we found the root cause of this issue. This is how we're going to proceed forward with that first generation run J-Class. So this is something, too, to be careful of when you're buying. If you want to buy one of these 611 J-Class, just make sure you ask or try to figure out if this is a first run J class or if it's going to be a second one when you go to train shows, because that first run J class has that known drawbar issue. So that's something to definitely keep in mind when you want to go out and purchase one of these locomotives. A lot of people asking for the tenders, some other things here. But yeah, a lot of them here is like, is the drawbar revised from the first batch you guys made? A lot of them asking, where is it? Yeah, all the issues they had fixed. So yeah, and that's a big thing too. Hoping you eventually matching stripes. Trying to find a comment that I saw. Yes, this is the big one here, and you can see that this one has 12 likes. So can those of us already purchased the first run be able to acquire the new drawbar and install ourselves? And so that's kind of the big news coming out of Scale Train. So that'll be interesting to see how they handle that come Amherst. I'm pretty sure we'll probably get an announcement from Amherst. Yep, so you're waiting for the cab forward. I think a lot of us are looking forward to the cab forward. Prefer ESU over soundtracks or soundtracks. You're focused Northwest and J. Yep. Just did. So the new cab forward is BLI. Yeah, and that was the thing about what Scale Trains had announced was they basically, from all the tooling, it was pretty much the same of the body, but as far as the drawbars themselves, they had to make the tooling for it because they didn't acquire that from MTH. And so this was their first run, and yeah, definitely interesting how that is going to evolve. So, and Scale Trains also announced another re-release of the Norfolk and Western cars. Again, very minimal on my end. I don't typically collect Norfolk and Western, but I will admit the coaches are great. Jeff, I think you can contest to this that the coaches are pretty good from Scale Trains. Okay, let me see what else we got here. Talk about that in a second. Okay, so let's jump to this. This is going to be interesting. So, yeah, unless manufacturers are happy you're not going to buy one. Yeah, I'm holding off on this second wave, especially with their other. I think they're doing I think it's the Mikado that they're doing. But yeah, I'm holding off for sure until they get that drawbar system right. Okay, let's talk about this thing. I may do a video on this too. The Berkshire, yep. The Berkshire, yep. So Scale Trains will be doing the Berkshire next, and then they'll be doing the J-Class second run as well, kind of at the same time. Okay, let's talk about Merklin, or Marklin, however you want to pronounce it. So I couldn't believe it when I saw this, and then Anthony Dodge, the Mile Train Outsider, who does a lot of the European locomotives, he talked about it for a little bit, and his reaction was pretty much on par to my reaction on this. This is the most gaslighting thing I've ever seen in the hobby. Let's see. So, Ford C, the BLI S1s. So, I'm wondering how the turn radius is going to do on the S1s. Again, I'm not a Pennsylvania Railroad collector per se, because I tend to collect Union Pacific family tree. So, like Norfolk Southern, Southern Pacific. Or not Norfolk Southern, sorry. Chicago Northwestern. Missouri Pacific and so forth. Let's see. So we've got let's see, Run Sunset Models Brass. Now we're pre-ordered. Now it's by Trix. Yep. Ronald, good sir, how are you? How are you, good sir? Welcome, welcome. I am doing well and I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. So you're just in time to hear me about this rant. So this is going to be a rant, guys. So I understand when it comes to brass locomotives, it is basically the top tier of our hobby. Think of it as the holographic card in the Pokemon world. Think of it as that one ring to rule them all from Magic the Gathering sets. Um, Brass engines have their place. It is to fulfill the collection side of this hobby. Every hobby has that collecting mindset, that collecting urge and bug, and basically that's what brass engines are in the model railroading world. At least when it comes to HO scale. When it comes to like Lionel, it goes back to like the pre-war 10 days. Those are highly collectible. And so Markland decides to do this. This is literally a 24 karat gold big boy. Now, it's not the entire thing. Some things are still die cast metal, but you can see the golden parts of the 24 karat gold big boy. I'm just shaking my head. I don't even know where to start with this. You guys can see the price tag. It's basically like $3,000, I think, in the conversion from euro. And so this is ghastly, to say the least. And then the other problem with this is that you got to understand your customer base, Markland. So Markland, if you guys don't know, mostly do what's called 3-rail HO, meaning that there's a third rail in the center of the 2 rails of the normal HO scale. This will not run on my layout because it is a 3-rail, not a 2-rail. That's issue number 1 I have with this big boy, is that this will not run anywhere in the US. Most US model railroading HO scale enthusiasts, yeah, Brie. Oh boy. It is confusing to me that the big boy is popular in America. Why would you make it 3-rail for this? And the thing is, there's only a limited amount of these. There's like 1776 of these for obvious reasons, because that's the birthday of America. So this is, if you're not familiar with 3-rail, this is basically the shoe or the sled that is underneath the center of the locomotive to pick up power. It is literally an AC system that picks up the power from the center rail. And again, you can look at Anthony Dodge and the Model Train Outsider. He runs a 3-rail HO layout, and he goes into a lot more further detail when it comes to the system. And so why on God's earth would you make this 3-rail? Because most of the collectors in this scale would be US. And so this will literally be a $3,000 shelf queen. It will, yeah. And the thing is, I know it does run on DCC, but again, it's 3-rail DCC, and I don't know anything about it. So, yeah, I don't know. This is a waste of money. Sorry, it is. I'm gonna keep it real. Yeah. And so this model is 100% to say that you have collected something that's rare, and it's 24 karat gold. This will probably, let's put it as it is a 100% collector's item that will age. I don't know if it even will age well in the market. So I don't know. It will definitely be a collector's item, but... And then you get... And exactly. And now you get to my next point. I would rather spend $3,000 on a full brass that could run on Tula Trek. Exactly. Because that is more valuable in our present-day market when it comes to that. Brass, I would think, is more valuable in the collection more than gold. Because that's just... what the collectors go after is those brass locomotives. So, but yeah, exactly. It's just, and you still gotta include shipping. You still gotta include the tariffs. You still gotta include the tax. So that's still gonna go maybe 3,500. You want to see someone buy it and weather it? Oh my gosh, I will cringe. Yeah, exactly. Spending that kind of money and not being able to run it. And that's the thing too. Is like for me, I would have to buy a whole new DCC system. I have to buy a brand new track just to run this. So the Sunset M is full brass and is 1800 plus it has sound and DCC. Yeah, that's the thing. For those of us in America, that's the way to go. If you really want to have a collector's piece, go that route. That too. That too. So I'm not a fan of this. And another thing about this is that I hope this is not popular. I hope this is not popular because brass is already a pain as it is. And now we're introducing these special run golden editions. Like, I don't think we need this in the hobby. That's my concern. Hopefully this is just a one and done. We won't see it again and then life moves on. And to me it doesn't look great. I don't know. It's unique. So yeah, it is definitely it's definitely a show off engine. This is one of those that you'll have like at an office or something. Not for me. Not for me. Okay, so that was the Marklin. Oh man, that's oof. And that's the thing for the price of that big boy, we can get both of these train sets. So Rapido kind of surprised me with these sets. And they look gorgeous. So Rapido announced their Train of Tomorrow sets. Now, these are the MSRPs. I was looking at Train World and they're about $100 less. But I love these. Bree and I were looking through these sets and I'm pretty convinced we're probably going to get both of these for several different reasons. This one is the actual Train of Tomorrow set right here, and this blue and silver scheme of the demonstrator of basically the I think this is the E7 engine. I think it is, but along with the respective dome passenger cars, these are beautiful. These are absolutely beautiful, and especially with these coaches, I can attach those to the Missouri Pacific coaches and call it a day. And so these are absolutely stunning. Now, people may say, no, it's 800 or minus 100 from the MSRP. So the one with DCC that I saw on Train World and from Iron Planet Hobbies, I think it's actually a good deal for 750 for the non-DCC, 850 for the DCC versions because you're getting 4 coaches and then you're getting the diesel. The diesel in itself is about 350, and then these coaches 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 150, 3, 6, 79. So you're getting these about 125 a coach as well, which I don't think is bad. We've seen how good Rapido coaches are, especially with that 3 and a quarter dome cars they came out with. So with this run, if they apply the same details and the same lighting and the same interior details that they did with the 3/4 dome cars, these will look stunning. And so I've got this on my radar. Now, the one thing I will complain about is that they don't sell the coaches separately. Because I'm going to get the UP version as well. Yeah. And the reason why I want the UP version is that these four coaches will look excellent with the big boy UP excursion train. And so I want the set as well. It's just I don't want the diesel. The diesel's okay. It's just not for me. But I want the coaches, and they're not selling the coaches separately. They're just doing it in the set. And so what I'll probably end up doing is get the DCC ready version of this diesel and probably stick a Blunometer code or something in there just so to make it worthwhile. But these look amazing. And I like the fact that I think this is the first time we've seen in mass production a domed end observation car. One thing I will also kind of want to do a little bit of a tangent because now that we're kind of talking about this. So Bree was able to get this from me as well. When we talk about end cars, we've been seeing the wonderful Kinefix cars. So we picked up a Kinefix car, and this is what we're used to seeing when it comes to the end observation cars. We've also got the inspection car that is going to be coming out as well. Thank you, Bree. We're also going to get that as well. But the issue with this Kinefix car, and the reason why I'm not running on the layout, I would have been running this on the layout today, is that it is light. And at first, I didn't think it was that light. Bree noted it immediately that, yeah, this is a light car. And it's like, okay, yeah, maybe this is light. Let me run it both here and on the Samurai layout. And it needs more weight on the trucks because there's this nice little pivot point on the center wheel. And for those of you who have run these type of cars, know that the pivot points will derail at the most screwed up turns. And so I've got one bad corner here that this derails on, and there's two spots at Samurai that it derails on, so I can't necessarily run it right now. I've got to add some more weight to it. The same issue also plagues my baggage car that has the American flag on it. It needs weight as well because, again, that middle has a momentum pivot point that causes it to derail. So that's one thing to note if you're going to invest into 3-axle cars, is that sometimes you may have to add weight to it. Yeah, so the inspection car was shipped. So the latest information from BLI was that it arrived at the port of Los Angeles and it started to ship out to dealers. Now, depending on how fast the dealers get the coaches in, then people can start doing reviews. I've already started to see some reviews pop out on YouTube, and so I'm trying to figure out which hobby store is getting them first so I can order it from them. But I'm hopeful maybe by next week we'll have, either next week or the week after, we'll have that inspection car as well. All right, let me catch up here. Yeah, Rapido is doing well. Let me show you guys. I would say both BLI and Rapido have been knocking it out of the park. So again, this is one of BLI's recent releases. But we got the wonderful power car here, and I love this thing. It ran like a dream at the Samurai layout. Another member also was running this on the Samurai layout with his excursion train. This thing is just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. BLI did a great job on this, especially with the coupler system. On locomotives, I don't necessarily agree, but on the passenger coaches, yeah, definitely. And what's interesting is that I think they learned from the Kinefix release to incorporate their extended coupler design. Because it wasn't on the Kinefix, but it was on this one. So I'm hoping the inspection car has that as well. And then the gorgeous, like this thing is easily becoming my model of the year. I know it came out last year, but I typically do models of the year when I get them. And so I got this year. And this 3/4 dome car from Rapido is money well spent. Just absolutely gorgeous. Let's see. Yeah, we can definitely use the blue one. Rapido set. I can see Bree running that too. Really good deal for a $900 set. Yeah, it's not bad. And it comes, if you buy with the decoder, it's an ESU decoder. And that's another thing too. I may actually get both sets in DCC ready because it's a 21 pin plug-in. And so, I don't know. I'm kind of debating if I want to do that. Yep. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, I've got plenty of shorts that I have the full consist. I've got one short right now that is scheduled for later this week, or I may release it tomorrow. That I was able to put all of these cars on before I started derailing. So it's kind of like my ideal consist until Rapido announced the Train of Tomorrow sets. Because imagine having these four at the back of the excursion train. It's basically going to be the Union Pacific fantasy of a California Zephyr consist. Because California Zephyr had like that dome back with the 3 domes near the end. And so these 2 sets is a must. So I'm definitely excited when I saw this announcement to get these. Yeah, that absolutely, especially with the demonstrator ones too. Both of these sets are just top notch. One thing, I've been trying to find a release date for these sets, and it still says to be determined. And so they are getting the initial designs right now. I know BLI, when they do an announcement run, typically it takes them a year to get the product out. Usually a year to year and a half. I don't know how fast Rapido gets it out. I would suspect it's the same, pretty close to the same timeline. And so we probably won't see these available till next year. I would say Christmas of next year we'll see these sets. Yeah, and so that's been kind of my criticisms about Rapido is that I understand they are a Canadian company, so they've been really focused on the Canadian and Canadian National, the Canadian, and CPKC stuff. But when it comes to U.S. market, they're focusing on a lot of the obscure transitional stuff. They need to go full blown into passenger cars, and they're slowly starting to do that. They came out with what's it called, the Jinx from Missouri Pacific coaches just recently, and it's like they have the perfect opportunity to retool, well, not necessarily retool, but to make a new tooling for the California Zephyr, because BLI's tooling is broken, and those are skyrocketing in prices. I'm glad I got mine when I did, and so really hopeful that they will come out with the California Zephyr. No one else has it right now in the market besides BLI. So we'll see. Rapido is slow. Oh. Well, that gives me time to save up and get these sets. So yeah. Okay, so that was from Rapido. So yeah, this was their official Facebook announcement saying that the EMD E7 is the next edition of the Rapido line of the HO scale E units. The EMD first wide selling passenger diesel. Again, a little bit more about it. Okay, so here are some of the details. That's all of the E7 stuff. Oh. Okay, we've got a list. I didn't even see this. We've got the road names here. So I stand corrected. They are coming out with several coaches for this. Yeah, California Zephyr would be nice. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so and they won't because their tooling broke. So BLI won't, from my understanding, they're not doing another run of the California Zephyr at all. And that's why most of those coaches are easily 150, soon to be 170, 175. So if you're into the California Zephyr, I would definitely start looking at grabbing them, because it's only a matter of time before trying to find one of those. It's going to be like $200-$300 a car. So when it comes to manufacturing, every tooling has an X amount of life expectancy. Um, I don't know how it broke or if that timeline ran out on the tooling, or if they had issues with the factory. I know there's a backstory behind it. I just can't remember. Yeah. So looking at their Facebook post, the first release road names and schemes. So we got Baltimore and Ohio, Boston, Maine, Chicago, Northwestern, CB&Q, Maine Central, New York Central, Pennsylvania, Seaboard Airline, Southern Pacific, Spokane, Portland, and Seattle, and obviously Union Pacific. Oh, here we go. So reserved through dealers, our website today for delivery in 2027. So yeah, that's next year. So next year we'll be having, yeah, and here's basically the lineup. Now that lineup I think is just for the diesels. I think the coaches they're only doing for UP and for the demonstrators. So yeah, you can see all the different road schemes here. Oh, and another thing to note is that they're having A and B units for some of these. So it looks like New York Central. I don't know if that's a dummy unit for that price. But definitely something to put on your radar. It's all good. We're human. It's all good. So here's that Southern Pacific scheme. That looks gorgeous. So it's an EA. Is this B scheme a demo though? Or a dummy? Huh. Interesting. I don't. Oh no, it's okay. There we go. The price updated. So yeah, it's both powered, and that's actually not bad to be honest. Roughly 345 for an E7. That's actually not bad. Let's see. So we got UP. So there's the UP ones. So I think probably another one I would probably look into is the Burlington, because I've got the California Zephyr and the Burlington ran dual E7s on their line. They didn't run the F7s. Okay, let's see. Those sets are gorgeous. So I think that's what we got from Rapido that I've seen. They're working on. I'll just show you guys the newsletter. So the other things they've been working out in January, they've got their maintenance of way cars, which I'm not interested in. They got these, what is it? Rail flat cars, concrete ties for the maintenance of way. Again, this is not my thing. See, February, they've been working a lot on subway sets too. So in the Metro North. Oh, we do have something else to talk. Oh yeah, I want to talk about that next. Here's some of the passenger cars they were talking about. So yeah, here's some Norfolk Southern. Looks like this is going to be announced formally in February. So yeah, they are coming out with a lot of their coaches. There's a lot of Canada stuff. Cabooses. Some more of the Via Rail. Some more. So that's a pretty cool car right there, with the American flag on it. Rail prototype meets Amherst, New England Central, the E7s. They're F7s. Some freight cars. So yeah, a lot of good things coming out from Rapido. I'm actually really, really excited. I hope so too someday. I hope so too. But again, when it comes to business strategy, when it comes to these manufacturers, we'll see. They just don't want to, make stuff that other people are making. So we'll see. I have no idea what Intermountain is doing. I have no clue. That's one company that I just... Them and Atlas, I think Intermountain's worse when it comes to the official... Yeah, it's I think it's on the business side of things. Rapido UK and Rapido US, I think, are two different subsidiaries, I think is the terminology. Yeah, I don't know what Intermountain's doing. I can do a quick search, but they are definitely quiet when it comes to social media announcements. I'm not even sure if they have a Facebook page. So we'll see. Another thing that I want to talk about is Bachmann. We need to talk about Bachmann. Because this went... And I actually may do a video on this as well if they keep this price. Yeah, we'll check our Intermountain here in a second. I've got another rant coming. I just gotta find. Do. Okay. I'm hoping they still have the price for this. Because I really want to talk about this. Because this is a problem. No, not the new Amtrak set. This is not being talked about, and it should. Okay, Bachmann, what on earth are you doing setting the MSRP of a 3-truck Shay to $800? In what world does that make sense when the 4-truck Shay from BLI is $600? I get this as MSRP, but we're talking about potentially a sales price of, even if I'm generous, $700, and this is for a 3-truck Shay. Whereas BLI, you got a 4-truck Shay. Okay, give me 1 second, guys. Let me, Yeah, so I saw this and I could not believe it. Like, what happened? I get there's DCC on board, and we knew that this three truck shade was coming out, and there was a lot of people who are a fan of shades was wondering how much it was going to be too. And this is not worth it, to say the least. So they've got three different offerings. They got the unlettered, they've got this Clear Lake lumber, and they've got this red pink. I can't pronounce it. Pinkering Lumber Corporation. And so it comes with DCC sound on board. I think that's Bachman's own brand, or maybe TCS, maybe TCS Wow Sound. But I could not believe when I saw this on Facebook. I had to check for myself because I thought it was AI. I thought it was photoshopped. I was astounded when they said that this MSRP is going to be $7.99. That is insane to me. Like, I understand that the Acela. Let's look at the Acela real quick. The Acela's MSRP came out to $880, and even for me, I think that's high MSRP. But I think with a good store, you can probably get that down to $600, which I think is a little bit better. And considering that the pentagrams are actually 3-rail convertible as well, it's like, okay, fine. I can give them some slack for the Acela too, but I am going to hammer them on the 3-truck Shay. Absolutely going to just hammer them. This is unacceptable. Let's see. So, you're waiting on the SPSF Tier 4 from Intermountain. They've done CP Steam from Rapido. And we just talked about the new Amtrak set. Yep, one job. Yeah, BLI's is 10 times better. And that's the thing. I think, if I remember correctly, I think Bachman social media team announced that this was going to be metal for their drivetrain, just like BLI's. So I don't think you have to worry about plastic gears. I think they've said that they've re-engineered the gears to make sure it doesn't crack like the Gen 1s. No wires for Shay. Yeah. This is a big pass because I'm already planning to get the BLI Shays and I'm satisfied. I just need the one and I'm good. I'm not creating a logging empire. So yeah, and again, it says HO scale. 3-truck. Yeah, that's insane to me. So, yeah, that was a shocker. This was the second shocker of the week behind the big boy. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, oh, absolutely go with the BLI. With a caveat, don't use the smoke on the BLI chase. Because if it's one thing, if you're going to use smoke, you better be very diligent in making sure you don't have any air bubbles in your smoke boxes and smoke units and so forth. I always turn mine off. I'm not a fan of the smoke engine. I'm not a fan of thinking about having the smoke unit melt down my entire chassis of an engine. So there's a lot of maintenance when it goes into a smoke unit. Yeah, our local hobby store has 2 of them in stock, and it's like, they're nice. They're actually a lot nice. So, yeah, Bachman, that was a disappointment to say the least. Yeah, I hate smoke too. Gives me headaches. Okay, so yeah, that was Bachman. Okay, let's see. What else do we have here? Talked about the FVFs. Talked about the E units. Talked about that. I don't think Walther's latest announcement had anything. They've been focusing a lot on buildings and freight cars. So nothing that I care too much about. Yeah. Pretty mediocre from Walters. Let's see. T1 got its new AFA paint scheme, which is pretty cool. Or American Freedom Train AFT. It's for the it's for the visitors. Some visitors are, like me, have a reaction to it, and it's just liability. No. Yeah. And those locomotives, so we'll do, I think next stream we'll talk about those 3. Hey, your locomotive was still gorgeous. And that steam engine hasn't made an official appearance on the channel yet. The diesel, I'm trying to think. The U50 has made its appearance. Well, no, I didn't. I did a post about all 3. They just haven't been formally run on the channel yet. Let's see. They're announcing some more AMD locomotives. Mostly the SD70s, SD70Ms. Gotcha. Yeah, and that's true. That's another issue, is that the smoke can get onto the rails, causing them to slick. So. So, now this is all jacked. Hang on. There you go. So I think we can talk about that too. Got to add Walters. Yeah, that's all good. I knew what you meant. I don't know. I'm pretty sure. No, I don't think that post made it to this channel. I thought it did. Hang on. Now I need to check. I thought I did. No, it didn't. I thought I could have sworn. Okay, we're going to talk about those 3 engines on next stream. And I'll make a post about it too. So, Bree got me 3 locomotives for Christmas. There's a steamer, there's a diesel, and another diesel. One diesel has made kind of its semi-formal appearance on the channel. Let's see. And I knew I should probably... I'll definitely run that one next time. So let's go to. So she got me the other SPU50. And so now I have both the UP and Southern Pacific U50s. The other diesel, where is it? It's in a box right now. Next stream we'll do the 3. We'll do the 3 on next stream. Because I've got this one running. We'll do a little cliffhanger for next stream. So yeah, we got the U50. We've got the NS diesel, which has made its appearance in shorts. So I'll run that one. Or did I do that one last stream? Hang on. Please hold. I'm starting to lose track of what engines I've got here. When they showcased on the channel. But no, we'll do all 3 next stream. And then the steamer, I'll go ahead and we'll do that one next time as well. Okay, let's go back to the showcase scene here. Okay, and then in international news, and I think this is the last official news to get caught up. So, man, it took us about an hour to get through. There was so many news to get through, so many announcements. And that's the thing is that Amherst coming up. Oh, yeah, that's definitely out of focus. Let me fix this camera real quick. See if I can get the focus. All right, we'll see how that works. I think what the camera's trying to focus on the TV screen, but let's see if that's any better. Okay, and so the last bit of news that we got. Yep, no, I appreciate that, Bree. I think it's the TV. It's trying to focus on too many things. Trying to focus on the building, the engine, the TV. So it's all confused. So last bit of news comes out of Japan. So apparently, many of the bullet trains out there had a power outage. And this was due to a fire that broke out at the Tamachi Station, and the Tokyo Fire Department and others investigating the connection with the power outage. So it happened at 8 a.m. They called 119. Apparently a fire broke out and caused delays. So it's still currently under investigation. And you guys can kind of see the aftermath of that. Kind of crazy. Yeah, we'll figure it out, Jeff. We shall figure it out. Yeah, imagine your primary mode of transportation needing a delay because of a power outage. That's like the subway system's going down in New York. Insane. A lot of people. Yeah, and that's right. You've been there, so I can only imagine what it was like. No, I don't think anyone was hurt, according to this article. So, Yeah, thank God no one was hurt. Okay, and I think that is the news. And then we'll just save the rest for later. Get caught up here. Just making sure I got all my news articles. So, as we go into Amherst, a couple things that come to mind. As Jeff has pointed out, we still have 2 announcements awaiting from BLI. Scale Trains have announced a few of their 1776 offerings coming up. I think that's one thing I want to double check is Scale Trains. Because they had one announcement, I believe, today. One day. Yep, so one more announcement here. So we've got, in addition to the SD40, that's 2 road names, are excited to offer 2 special America 250th Rivet Counter HO scale EMD SD40-2s. So the Wheeling and Lake Erie, number 1776. So yeah, we're going to get a lot of these 1776 commemorative 250th anniversary schemes. At this point, it's getting a little oversaturated, but it is beautiful nevertheless. It is beautiful. Yeah. It definitely is nice. Absolutely. Okay, I think that is everything from the news. If I have missed something, let me know. I know you guys wanted to know about Intermountain. Let's see if we can find anything. Oh, this website's so outdated. Let's see. So, and this is the thing about Intermountain. They're just as bad as Atlas, I think, when it comes to... I think they're actually worse than Atlas when it comes to announcements. So in December 2025, they announced the same thing, 1776, Wheeling Lake Erie, which Scale Trains is making. I would go with Scale Trains in a heartbeat because they're great when it comes to the details. A few other SD40-2s, covered hoppers, and that's it. That's all I see here. So their last product announcement was in 2025. So I would suspect in January 2026. Well, we're in that month already, so they haven't really announced anything. Maybe at Amherst they'll announce something. So I don't know. Intermountain's kind of just there. I don't know. Yeah, I don't see much for them. You want to see a new run of their Northwick and Western 1776? Nice. Yeah, I don't see anything else from them. I'll keep you guys posted if I see anything. Let's see here. So I think we're gonna do a new segment called eBay finds. I know a lot. There's another channel or YouTube channel that does like eBay finds, and Bree found this one. So that's something that we could potentially do is talk about some eBay finds. I think we got everything. All right. Let's see. Let me go to Discord here. So Bree found this one. eBay finds are cool. I'm probably not going to critique it, but just look at it. I may comment about the price, but I don't know. It's kind of a new thing. So we've got. Okay, so we got this rare I don't even know how to pronounce that. Something golf. Seminoil golf. Look, sound, DCC, sound, and weathered. It's actually a pretty engine. I am a fan of the this style of design, transitional era. So Atlas -8 locomotive for 300. So there you go. If you're interested, pretty interesting. Don't you almost bought it? Yeah, I'm not familiar with that railroad. If is it fantasy? Is it a real? I don't know. I'll have to look into it. That is. It's actually pretty cool. Pretty cool. So yeah, I think you'll pass on it. So yeah, I think we talked about all the news. As I see them come up, I'll try to bookmark it so we can talk about it in the stream, or I'll actually make a video about it. I just haven't had a chance to do the video formats in a hot minute. Got some more scripts coming down for the Frost Line and Pacific Railroad that blind train, but well, you'll learn. It's all good. And that steamer is wonderful. And we'll show that off on next stream. Absolutely. So let's talk about the schedule for the live stream. So I think Bree and I have kind of worked it out to where I think my new dedicated time is going to be on Wednesday at 8 p.m. I think it's a good time slot for me and for us personally. And so I like starting at 8 p.m. That seems to be a slot that, I used to do it on Fridays at 8 p.m. Obviously, with Scott Rails streaming during that time, I didn't want to overlap him. And so I did want to move it. Just trying to experiment with times. Decided to go live today because we had a lot of news to cover, especially right before Amherst. And so we've got that dawn before the Super Bowl for model railroading coming up. And so we'll definitely be talking about that next time. So yeah, next stream will be on Wednesday at 8 p.m. And I think that'll be our new dedicated time slot for right now. We'll adjust it if it's not working, but definitely liking it. Yeah, we were also thinking about Sundays, but Sundays is a little busy. So, and Sundays is probably going to be, going out to Samra. It's probably going to be my video editing day so I can get videos out throughout the week. So, I think Wednesday evenings is a good slot. And it's before all the other live streams because Wednesdays is a plethora of live streams for model railroading. We've got, Mini Prince goes on the 1st of the month. We've got Heath at Humanity Junction that goes at 7, and then I'll be going at 8. So I'm basically taking over Heath's old time slot. But yeah, we've been streaming for, almost an hour and a half. Sorry we didn't get to see too much of, I wanted to showcase the layout a little bit more, but yeah, we had so much news to talk about, and I'm starting to feel the weight of the day catching up to me. But yeah, some of the updates, like I said, we've got the cameras up. I'm hoping to get hopefully the train camera up in about a week. Yeah, we should be there Sunday. Yeah, we should be there. Thursdays, I may refrain away from going back on Thursday nights. Considering if I'm going to be streaming Wednesday nights, I'll probably not go Thursdays. I don't know. I'm still kind of debating on Thursdays. But Sundays for sure. We'll be there. So yeah, next stream will be this Wednesday. Will be the pre-Amherst celebration. We'll have the 3 main locomotives. They'll be our stars for the layout, and then we'll go from there. So with that, guys, let's go ahead and call it a stream. Thank you guys so much for hanging out on this hour and a half stream. We are slowly getting back into the rhythm of doing this podcast. It's supposed to get snow. Oh, yeah. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, Texas. Yeah, it's going to be cold. So yeah, we'll be back on Wednesday. I'll get that stream set up as I get off here. But with the guys, thank you so much for coming out. And I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Have a good one.